Good morning, Tess and Chelsea. You are both working towards mentoring and building leadership capacity. I'm looking forward to learning more about your work. So now, how did the idea of getting together for business come about?
Well, it was an evolution. It emerged as Chelsea and her then fiance moved from New York to Tennessee as they were managing hotels and breakfasts or Airbnbs, and they came to California, and I had started Tess Cox and Associates. And with that, I needed support. So we started Chelsea with more social media. And then we started in the background where I was doing more coaching and teaching her the coaching style and process that we use with TCNA. And from there, it continued to emerge and evolve. She realized she had a gift and a talent for coaching as well. She has expertise in management and areas that are more sensory driven than I do. I tend to be more visionary driven, and we found we really were compatible in building out more of the process of the business. And of course, as her mom, it's always been a dream to have my children involved in my business. And so when Chelsea showed this interest and this gift and talent to build out resources and coaching that supported us, it just became a natural, organic relationship that we have thoroughly enjoyed from that time on.
Wow. Mom and daughter relationship in business. I love it. So now, Tess, how did you get started in business?
I was originally working for nonprofits and went to graduate school and met a professor who became a friend and also who became my boss, who had his own consulting business and coaching, and that's how I got started. He invited myself and another friend to join him. We were working for a medical profession down in Rancho Mirage, Eisenhower Medical Center. And we started coaching nurses and hospital staff, upper management, and ultimately doctors. And we were there for many years. And then we moved on to a company in New York City. It was then called CA Technologies, and continuing with executives, and actually traveled around the world there to Singapore and Europe, coaching their teams. And so I just completely embraced the coaching mindset, the coaching process and learning. And what was wonderful about that period of time is as I was working in New York, Chelsea went to New York and started working there in the hotel industry. She can speak to that more than I. And that became another mother-daughter opportunity to every couple weeks. I was out in New York and we were able to have some great fun in New York City. And then when I finished that contract with that particular owner of business, I started Tess Cox and Associates, and we've been in business now for 10 years.
Wow. So now, can you tell us about Tess Cox and Associates, and what is it about, and the services that it offers?
Chelsea, you want to answer that?
Sure. So, we also go by TCNA. That's for shorthand. And at TCNA, we offer leadership coaching for executives, for teams as well. And ultimately, we help people focus on how they want to transformationally change their mindset and their behaviors so that they can become the leaders of themselves first before they lead others. So our motto is really to learn to lead yourself first. And that certainly comes with building a lot of self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and building relationships as well. We focus on communication, strengthening communication within organizations, work a lot with teams and how to communicate cross-functionally between departments as well, how to collaborate with one another and really be able to make strong decisions and ultimately have culture shifts within organizations that, as we know, in 2023, are needed, right? A different mindset, a growth mindset, where people are really willing to continue to emerge and evolve into who they are meant to be. And we always believe in creating meaning in everything that we do. So creating meaning in our lives for sure, but also in the workplace.
Absolutely. So now, when you talk about teams a lot. Can someone, let's say for example, I work for a company, so I come to you straight to you asking you for support. Would you be able to provide that support, or do you have to go through the company to provide that support?
We would most likely go through the company to provide the support, but we also offer, we don't have to be associated directly with the company. Of course, if you wanted, one-on-one support with coaching, or you wanted to do something with your team, typically businesses will want to have that approved at a higher level before we come in for those kinds of services. But we work both within organizations and outside of the organizations as well.
So now, do you provide one-on-one coaching, or is it just like a group coaching?
We offer both. So a lot of the organizations that we work with take advantage of having their executives do the one-on-one coaching, their upper level management do the one-on-one coaching, because that's where we're able to really get into some more of the details of what's going on their day to day. And then we do provide seminars, of course, for teams, and then also just opportunities for teams to come together and strategy build. Or if there's a specific issue that, keeps coming up, let's talk about it. Let's break that down and really see how we can provide more clarity for people so that they can really be confident in the decisions that they're making. And confidence building is certainly something that, gets intertwined into anything that we're doing.
That's true. That. So now, let's say that a company is outside of the country. Do you provide services outside of the country, or focus just in the United States?
At this point, we are United States based, and we're always open to the new opportunity. If there is something outside of the company or the country, and it is a organization that is, desiring to grow and to build their business, we're always happy to come alongside and be that support and align with the vision and the mission of the organization.
So now let's say, do you, small businesses, you have the one that have 5 employees or perhaps even just 1. So do you start with the small to corporation, or do you have where you stay like, okay, I only provide to like, the company needs to have at least 20 employees?
We've been pretty organic in our growth. And of course, when I first started, it was one-on-one. I was coaching an organization, the founder of their coaching program, and it was a 18-month program. And what transpired is those fellows who were going through the program, there were about 48 at the time. When they finished the program, they wanted to have more coaching, and that's how TCNA really got started. And so we offered the one-on-one coaching for individuals, and then it just started to grow from there, where then we were invited into the businesses to work with the executives. And some of those businesses were 3 to 5 employees, and other businesses were 200 employees. And now some of these businesses that we work with, they're upwards to 450 employees. And then if it's seasonal, you move up to, 12 to 1,500 employees.
So now when you come in, for how long do you stay?
Depends on how long you want to stay.
Years. Once you're in, you're in. You're never out. And for the process to really be effective and to have the cultural transformation, because you don't just go into any company and transform the culture overnight. It really does take a 3 to 5 year process to transform a company culture. And now that may seem like that's a lot of years. And at the same time, we're using building blocks. And so the premise of let's build the self-awareness first of individuals and teams, then let's move into what is going on around us. What's that company social awareness that we need to be aware of? So we start working more cross-functionally with one another, building those communication models to be effective in decision making, which then leads to building stronger relationships. And then ultimately, when those relationships are built on trust and consistency, and they start seeing the results of all of that because the outcome is good, then the culture starts to really shift and buy in.
I agree with you on that. I think that it's nothing can really happen overnight. I think sometimes people are looking for fast results. Unfortunately, fast results doesn't happen. It's just like with the brain. Let's take us, for example. When we were born, can we talk? We can't talk. Can we walk? We can't even do that either. We can't even quarrel, for God's sake. So how do we? So for some reason, people have that mentality that things have to happen right now and right now very fast. But we are human. It takes time for us to adapt, to get used to something, to even understand it. Sometimes that takes time.
Yes.
So I think that when you say 3 years, I can see it happen because it's really take time for people to get used to the new system, the new thing, what's going on right now. It just takes time.
Yes. Well, and it takes time to, and I want to, the word deconstruct. It takes time to deconstruct what they've always done to reconstruct what is going to work better for them. And typically that starts again with knowing yourself, knowing your communication style, knowing what needs to be adjusted in your communication style, how you're managing change, managing conflict, managing your own personal communication. That's a starting place. And we typically need to deconstruct parts of that in order to reconstruct more healthy, viable communication that really works in the organization.
Absolutely. So now, Tess, you have more than 3 decades of leadership experience, while Chelsea brings hospitality management experience. So now, how do you both leverage your expertise in contributing in the business itself? Chelsea, you want to go first?
Yeah. So, yes, I did spend just over a decade managing hotels throughout the U.S. and that really, it served my personality well in the sense that I like structure. I like things ordered. I like a schedule. I like to accomplish things. And the hospitality, specifically hotel industry, really allows for that. And yet I found myself ultimately burning out from the kind of schedule and the demands of the business. And I saw more for myself and wanting to be able to serve outside of, just one hotel at a time. And so ultimately when I transitioned into coaching, I was able to bring some more. I didn't know at first that I was going to actually be doing coaching within TCNA. I thought, well, let me bring some structure to it. Like Tess mentioned, she's very visionary. And she likes to fly by the seat of her pants on a lot of things. So so I'm always along for the ride. And yet in order for us to continue to grow, putting some structure in place, putting some more organization to things, updating to, everywhere from updating our branding to our website to keeping track of social media platforms, those sort of things, adding to our team, finding the right people to help contribute to our team. So that's really where I started out. And And then in the process of being able to witness, the coaching style and the impact that we were having together, but also watching what she was doing, it was inspiring. And I've always had that service mindset that is part of the hospitality in me. That's ingrained in me. So being of service to others has always been something that's been important to me. And I was able to really just shift it into a different way, from serving in hotels to being able to serve people one-on-one and team-based. And I love being able to come into organizations and connect with people and really help them first go inward in order to experience what they want to experience externally. So we talk a lot about that, the inner work that you need to do in order to have the external experience. So that's kind of been my journey.
What can I say? You are a people person like mommy.
Yeah. Yes, I come by it honestly.
Yeah. We walk
Just
into
now-
a room and everyone knows we're there.
Hey, that's the best way to go. So now, Tess, can you tell us how your leadership experience now helped the company grow?
I think I've always had this entrepreneur spirit. I've done different things in my life and organizations that I've worked with in the past. I always had vision of how we could grow and how we could empower people and how we could help them to realize their own gifts and talents. And as Chelsea said, that inward journey first, that externally starts to just empower and bring confidence to people. That's been my life's work. And so in leadership with coaching and developing people, that's been part of the component of growing the business as well. The more you empower people and the more confident they are because of the resources and tools that they have, they always want to come back for more. And they want to continue to explore the more. And that's what life is, right? The continuum of exploring, emerging, evolving into who we're meant to be, called to be. And when we open that up within ourselves, oh my goodness, it just starts to continue to expand and expand and expand. And that's what's transpired with TCNA. How we infiltrate certain businesses is all relational. Every single opportunity has been a relationship first. And so that's been the power of our business model as well, is we want to build strong relationships. Let's build the trust and then let's build out what you need. And that ends up being a good recipe of the business model success because we care about the people. And at the same time, we're very logical in our approach to know that we're not for everybody, and that's okay. But we are for a lot of people, and that's really great. And those that are in alignment with us and we're in alignment with them, we can do some pretty amazing things with their organizations and companies to get them from where they are to where they want to be. Because we also know, and there's a great title of the book of What Got You Here Won't Get You There, we're part of that process. We know if a company or an individual isn't satisfied where they are, we can take them on a journey of choice, actually, to get them to where they want to go. And it's all about choice and choosing. And every day, Chelsea and I keep choosing. We keep choosing to enter in. We keep choosing to build relationships. We keep choosing to bring our best self to our coaching and our process. We just keep choosing. And the best part is, which Chelsea always laughs at, is we keep choosing to create more and more material. And we've got great exercises and material to help people, again, discover who they are, who they want to be, and then go from there. And it really is a joyful journey because we can see the growth of people and we're applauding all the way as well.
So TCNA is helping companies and people grow, but also succeed in life.
Yes. Yes. And I'm glad you caught that, because so many people tell us, most of those we coach will say, Tess and Chelsea, your coaching has helped me in my work and my role and responsibilities, but it's also helped me in my personal life. And we know that to be true because we live it as well. There's not anything that we present to our clients that we have not taken ourselves through, we have not tested, we have not lived, actually. And I think that's part of our success as well.
Yes, when you try what you are helping people with, it's kind of give you a better idea how to make changes to it and also how to make it better. And also, I think that it's great when you do what you speak instead of just teaching something you never done yourself, so you don't even know how it's going to impact anyone in the world.
Yeah. Yes. Ultimately, we find ourselves really embodying, what we're helping other people with. So it comes quite naturally, which I think then also people respond to that as well within the learning process.
Yes, absolutely. So now you ladies believe that people should become the leader of themselves first, right? To actively lead others. Can you throw some more lights on this aspect for us?
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah. Well, being the leader, of yourself first really means to take responsibility for yourself first, to hold yourself accountable, to really look at who you are foundationally, the character of who you are. We have the 5 C's that we call them: character, competence, consistency, creativity, and confidence. And within all of those all work together to help you be able to be the leader of yourself first. Because if you have a strong character, a strong foundation, everything from there can get built, because you know that your character is intact. You know who you are and why you do what you do. You can always build your competencies, right? We're always willing to learn and grow. We love to work with people that have that growth mindset. And there also are times where we need to unlearn things. That's part of competency as well. When we really can identify what isn't working for us, so we can stop doing those things and start creating some new habits. Certainly habits are really important. Being consistent, right? Being consistent with our habits and really we focus on the aspect of the marginal gains concept of, incrementally growing 1% at a time. James Clear, speaks about this in his book, Atomic Habits. And it's really helpful for people to realize that, I can lead myself by just doing 1% better every day. And oftentimes people find themselves doing more than 1%. That becomes a really compound interest, and it becomes a ripple effect to the people around them as well. Certainly building relationships in a creative way. We use creativity in a little bit of a different way, with using it as creatively building relationships. But none of us have gotten to where we are today without an important relationship in our life, several important relationships. So that's really key to being able to lead yourself, reaching out to who you need to for support, finding those mentors, finding that community, and really creatively building relationships, because there's not just one way to get to know people and to build that relationship. And ultimately, through all of that, you end up with a result of confidence, because you know who you are, you know your competencies, you're being consistent, you're creatively building relationships that support you. And then that just breeds confidence that ultimately is always expanding as well, because we know confidence isn't something that just gets checked off, right? It's something that continues to expand. And with all of that, we're able to be confident in leading ourselves, because we have this, formula, if you will, of the 5 C's that we put. It really becomes a grid that we put everything through. And, any tough decision or anything that we have a question about how to lead ourselves, typically one of those 5 C's, we need to focus in this area. And that gives us the confidence to lead ourselves, and then ultimately when we have confidence internally and personally, it's much easier to have confidence in leading others as well. And we found that with the 5 C's of leadership, Tess wrote a book, The Leadership Blueprint, Becoming the Architect of Your Life and Work, which is based off of the 5 C's. And it's been really impactful over the years since it launched in 2017. It's one of our core pieces of, tool and resource that we use in the coaching process as well.
Do you think that someone can just get the book and be able to follow the 5 C's and say, okay, I'm good? Or do you think that getting the book and also getting the coaching part of it will bring better result?
Well, we always believe reading a good book is helpful.
Yes.
we love reading ourselves. Yes, to your question, yes, you can take yourself through the book. It's designed that way. At the same time, it's also designed to, if you want a coach to come alongside, we can certainly do that, and coaching is helpful. And as Chelsea mentioned, extracting from the book and building out tools and resources has been part of our design model as well, which has been very helpful to build out different types of seminars from the information in the book. So it's been great leading yourself with the 5 C's. And I'll just add this. It also helps us understand, because yes, we all want this growth mindset. We all want to continue to move in the direction that's important and meaningful to us. And yet life happens, and there are things in life that are challenging, and it's not just an upward mobility, and it's not always just moving forward. Sometimes there's pause. Sometimes we may feel stuck. Sometimes we may feel like we're going backwards. What the 5 C's does is it just helps you identify, where can I really put my focus? So for instance, in a story, I lost my father several years ago. And of course, being a business owner, I was really struggling with consistency during my grief, and I was struggling with building out more relationships during my grief. Well, instead of going into a depression or going into feeling bad that I'm not working to my full potential, I put myself through our 5 C's exercise. And I said, I know my character's strong. That's not going anywhere. I know I'm still competent. I know that I'm lacking some consistency right now. And Chelsea was certainly helpful in that consistency during that time. I know that I'm struggling, continuing to just be there and building relationships for other people. That's okay. I'm going to give myself some time. I don't have to lack confidence. I can just be assured that I just need time to grieve. And in giving myself that permission, it was a couple months and I was back to building out what was most important and meaningful again. But I really did give myself permission that time and during that time. And I am grateful for those 5 C's to just help my mental state, help my emotional state to logically work through what was really transpiring.
Wow, that's amazing. I really want to get a copy of that book, though.
We're happy to send you a copy.
We can send one to you.
Thank you. So where can people get that book? Amazon, your website?
Yes, Amazon.com, yes.
Yeah.
So now, how do you both manage your energy to run a business and reflect that positive attitude toward your client?
I love that question, because managing energy is my top priority. Actually, we have an exercise called the 4 cornerstones, where you identify what's important to you, your values, and talking about that. And my first one is always managing my energy. Even before I manage, the business, of course, before I help manage my family, it really is to manage my own energy, because without my own energy, I can't give to others, right? So that process of paying attention to energy, tuning into energy, everything is energy ultimately. And this interaction is energetic, right? And so the more that we can pay attention and really be aware of where our energy level is at, of just being mindful of how our body's feeling, being mindful of what's going on for us mentally. Is our mind busy with thoughts? Do we have too long of a to-do list? What do we need to manage within our mental energy? What do we need to manage within our physical energy, within our emotional energy? There's a lot to manage within your energy, but paying attention to it first, being self-aware, is always where the starting place that we encourage people. Just start paying attention to your breath. That's the easiest way to start managing your energy, at any time, especially when you're having an overwhelming day or things are really complex, you're dealing with a big challenge. Stop and pay attention to your breath, and that will connect you back to your energy. And that will lead you in how to refuel it as well, so that you can continue to give back to your work and to the people that are important to you as well. So there's a lot of self-care that goes on behind the scenes.
Yes.
And that looks different for everybody, right? I do want to mention that, because there's not just one way to care for yourself and your energy. It's up to you to do some of the work to discover it. And that's part of what we do in the coaching process, is helping people uncover what will help them manage their energy best.
And I love one thing that you said, start with yourself, because us as women, we have that, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. I think it's just in our nature to be like that, because we give birth, we care for others, because that's what, when we give birth, we care for a baby for a very long time. Even when we get older, my mom will call me, "Did you eat today? Did you do that?" I'm like, Mom, I'm okay. So it's just us like that. Sometimes we start with other people, with the family, and we forget ourselves. Sometimes we feed the family, we forgot even feeding ourselves. So I love the fact that you say start with yourself, because we do need to take care of ourselves. We need to do that so we can live longer and be here to support our family even better if we take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So now, have you faced any challenges co-owning a business, any clash of ideas or communication? And if you guys face anything, how did you navigate them?
Well, of course, you're always going to face some communication challenges when you have different personalities. Chelsea's definitely more sensory oriented. She's experientially oriented. She needs facts, data, and details. And then she has a mom who's the business owner, who's very visionary, doesn't always pay attention to all of the details, needs that support. And just being mindful of that when we're in conversation, we can navigate and understand what the other person needs, where I can admit and say, I don't have all of the details. I'm going to need your help filling out these details. And here's a grid of what I'm thinking and what I envision. I don't know what details I'm missing here. And vice versa. She can come to me and say, I know you can see a bigger picture here. Help me see that bigger picture. And let's talk about that bigger picture. So the flow of communication, and we do have a communication model that we use. We start with ultimately, where are we in alignment? And from there, we can use our model that ultimately helps us understand you need both. You need the sensory facts and data, and you need the vision. Knowing that gives us great peace that we can work through any difficult conversation. Most of our difficult conversations are talking about our client situations of how can we strategize to help our clients in some of the difficulty that they're experiencing. And right now, one of the major difficulties is cross-functional communication. And so we are building out within the coaching process. We have another program called the Engagement Blueprint that brings people from all parts of the United States into this one learning component of the Engagement Blueprint. It's cross-functional learning, and it's been highly successful because people are actually getting to know other employees that they've never talked to before, or that they talk to all the time, but they've never gotten to know them. And so our program has helped build out that cross-functional learning, and which then in turn has built out stronger communication cross-functionally as well.
It seems like you guys are open-minded, and the fact that you both are open-minded and ready to learn, so you have no issue if one another said, hey, this is great, but we can make this even better by doing this and this and that.
Yes.
So that's how I see it. I think that's a great way of communication. So now, Chelsea, how can someone join any of the programs that you guys have, either coaching or even like a coming in for seminar or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a few different offerings. Of course, we have our website, tesscoxandassociates.com, that has all of our programs and our books and tells you more about us, and you can reach out to us there. Our emails are there. We have LinkedIn, where you can reach out to either of us individually or to our company page. We do offer once a month a LinkedIn Live. We're actually doing one tomorrow at noon Pacific time, and that we will we offer once a month, and that's kind of a live session between Tess and myself, where we usually talk about an exercise, talk about a topic. People can, of course, engage from there as well. We have a monthly newsletter that we send out, so people can sign up for that and reach us that way. That will give all of our updated seminars and workshops, because we're always, as Tess said, coming up with new material. And of course, we do have Instagram as well at Coach Tess Cox and Associates. So we do little bits there to just mainly to encourage people. And yeah, so there's a few different ways that you can reach out to us.
So now, before I let you guys go, I have one more questions. We know that March is Women's History Month. For us, it's like the biggest thing ever, because we support women, we celebrate women every day. But also the fact that, well, the government decided to give us that month. We're just going to take it and say thank you and run with it. Yeah. So now, any word of advice do you guys have, would you have for women who want to get into business or even want to create something better for themselves?
First and foremost, we support women being everything that they desire to be. And my encouragement as a business owner, is to gather good people around you and find the support that you need to launch the ideas, to create the ideas that are going to be meaningful and important to you. It's important for all of us to create the lives that are truly meaningful, that every day we get up in the morning and we're excited about the morning because we know we're doing what we're called to do. We're living with the purpose that we want to live. And that doesn't take away complexity. It doesn't take away challenges. It ultimately just helps us to stay committed to the process. And I would encourage women everywhere in the world to be committed to your own growth, your own abilities and strengths, and build upon that. Because as you build upon it, and don't always look for all of that external gratification, look inward and keep telling yourself you can do it, because you can. And with that, and having the support of those that truly care for you and want the best for you, which is key, which we always want the best for our clients, which again is one of the components of our care and why people are drawn to our business and who we are, because they know we want the best for them. Well, we want the best for women too. We can't create your life, but we can support the life that you want to live. And many times we just have to give ourselves the permission to say, I'm worth it. And women are. We all are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Chelsea, you want to add anything to that?
No, just echo with the you are worthy piece. Just remembering that, women are worthy of everything that they desire to create in work and in life.
Absolutely. I love having this conversation with you too. Specifically, talking to mother and daughter. It's beautiful. It's amazing, and we should do that more often in the world because Chelsea will pass the same information to her daughter, daughter to the other one. It's just keep on going, keep on going. And I thank you both for giving me that chance to meet you, to have this conversation with you. And please keep on moving forward, keep paving the path for women because we need that right now.
Thank you, Nagalia, and thank you for your graciousness and your great questions. It's been delightful to be with you today. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for starting our day.